It's the wee hours of the damn morning, and somewhere roosters are getting ready to wake up everybody in the neighborhood. The air is crisp, and as cool as the other side of your pillow, and the city of Davenport, Iowa, is sleeping like a baby. But in the darkness, something sinister stirs as fate causes two paths to cross unexpectedly. It's somewhere between 4:30 and 5 in the morning, and an older gentleman named Jared Brink is driving down Highway 61 when he's suddenly startled by what is now directly in the focus of his headlights. There, right in front of him, on the side of the road, is a dark figure. Jared wrestles with whether or not what he's seeing is real, or if he's somehow still asleep, tucked away under his Winnie the Pooh blanket still dreaming. From what he can tell, the figure seems to be trying to get his attention by flailing its arms in the darkness. In the moment, Jared has to make a split decision. He quickly ponders if this is how his story ends, with him pulling over to help a stranger who turns out to be a serial killer straight out of a horror film. But given the time of night, he decides that the man must be pretty desperate given the circumstance and decides to help him anyway. So he pulls up alongside him, and as he does, the stranger asks him if he could use his pickup truck to help haul his vehicle out of a ditch nearby. Although he reluctantly agrees to help him out, he can't help but be curious as to how the man ended up in a ditch in the middle of the night on a dark and desolate stretch of road. What in the hell was this weirdo doing out here in the first place? The man tells him that he swerved to avoid hitting something after he made a wrong turn onto the road, and leaves it at that. Somewhat satisfied with what he's heard, wanting to get away from this creepy situation as soon as possible, Jared drives the man back to his vehicle and pulls him out with his hitch, and after some lighthearted banter, they both part ways. As he drives off, Jared can feel his heart trying to beat a hole into his chest from the intensity of the situation he just found himself in. But at least it was over, and he was alive. Besides, everybody's tough until they're flagged down by some burly weird dude on the side of the road at a time of night when ain't nothing open but legs and the devil's workshop. But what Jared doesn't know, as he drives away, is that fate had just brought him face to face with pure evil incarnate. And this chance meeting would be the key to solving one of the most unthinkable murders in the history of the city. It's an otherwise normal and uneventful day on July 10th, 2020, until Aisha Langford receives a disturbing phone call while she's at work. The call is from her son's father, informing her that her 10-year-old daughter, who was spending the night with her younger brother, has vanished in the middle of the night. Stunned and now thinking the absolute worst, Aisha immediately leaves for work to meet up with her son's father, Henry Dinkins, and the police, who are now apparently at the scene of the disappearance. As soon as Aisha makes contact, her anger and worry completely takes over. She's not only concerned about where her daughter is, but she's also understandably irate with Henry Dinkins. Though Breasia isn't his daughter by birthright, he's looked after her entire life, and has helped raise her as his own along with their son, Little Dink. So how could he have been so careless and completely lost her in the middle of the night?
SHIA.
Last name?
Langford, LA-NK-FORD.
And Henry lives here.
Yeah, I guess so. This is where he told me to come.
Okay.
He don't even know how long she's even been gone.
Yeah. What's your daughter's name?
Breasia, B-R-E-A.
E-A.
S-I-A.
B-R-E-A-S-I-A?
I guess.
Okay.
Terrell, T-E-R-R-E-L-L.
Aisha could barely contain her rage as she paced back and forth while berating Henry, because in her mind, this was all his fault.
What's up, Henry? So when was the last time you saw her?
She was in the house.
Yeah, when was the last time you saw her?
9:30.
Last night?
9:30.
Okay. Okay.
With him.
Okay. When was the last time you saw her?
She was in the bed when I woke up in the morning.
She was in the bed
Yeah.
when you went to bed last night? Okay.
This is crazy, man. This is
Yeah.
like, you know what I'm saying? I know she's hysterical, big brother.
Yeah. DIN.
KINS.
Your date of birth, Henry?
August 2nd, 72.
Is this your home address?
No.
What's your address?
It's down by Boston Marina.
Just a guy. Just.
Yeah, I just know that.
You don't know your
I don't know the
address?
full address.
Do you know your phone number?
Hell no, I don't even know that either. I swear to God, I don't.
Henry, you don't know where your daughter is. You don't know your address, and you don't know your phone number.
No, for real. I'm finna
So,
give it to you now. You think I'll be lying, but
Well, no, it's just it's kind of.
because I don't call myself.
I know, but you got to know your number. You got to know your address.
I don't.
So this is your girlfriend's address here?
Just a good friend.
Okay.
Okay, here go my phone right here.
I bet people been banging on it.
4078?
4078.
Okay, what was she last wearing?
In the bed.
What you have on, some shorts?
What color?
I don't remember. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't
What's her height and weight, you think?
She's a little taller than he is.
She's just tall.
Okay.
She's a little taller than that. She's probably about like this here.
Okay. What's her hair look like?
She had
Brownish,
dreads.
same-
Long.
Dreads. Yep.
Long.
Long and dreads hair?
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to ask you to who have you called? What
not
doors
called.
have you knocked on?
I don't know these people out here.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But I called her.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And she told me she was at work. At first, I was riding around looking.
Yeah.
And then me and my son started riding around looking.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And then
So how long ago has it been, an hour?
it's been a couple hours.
Couple hours?
Couple hours.
Okay.
Couple hours.
Have we called grandmas? Have we called
That's
cousins?
what I just asked. She the one. I don't know all that. She knows all that.
She called my grandma already.
She
Okay.
knows all that, not me.
Okay. Do we have a picture?
She does.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mom.
He need a picture of her.
You don't have nothing with you right now. Okay, that's fine. Have we called family?
I've called everybody. I have my
Okay.
uncle out riding around. My mom's on her way out here. My
We've been
friend's on their way
everywhere.
out
We've
here.
been everywhere.
And she's gonna be with a friend inside some apartment.
That's
most
why I
likely.
just said I'm gonna still look.
Okay.
We don't know anybody out here, though. That's
Yeah.
the thing.
Okay.
She would have never.
How many-
She would have never. First of all, she would have never woke up at 8 o'clock in the morning, and she would have never.
What you mean?
she
8 o'clock in the
I'm
morning.
just saying.
That ain't what I
She
said. I
definitely-
never
I know
said.
you
Guys,
didn't say that.
this isn't the time to fight.
Exactly. I don't give a about you walking. You lost her though.
How you lose?
Because you was watching her, Henry. What do you mean?
But hey,
I'm gone, sir. Come on, D.
listen to me.
I'm gone.
Well, you guys gotta come together right now. This isn't a time to fight about it.
The fact that 10-year-old Breasia is also slightly both hearing and vision impaired makes matters 10 times worse. In addition to this, the apartment complex you're seeing was an area that was pretty foreign to both Breasia and Henry. It was a neighborhood in which Henry's new girlfriend was living, which is how they'd all ended up there for the night in the first place. Henry was doing his worst to recall the events of the previous night for the officer on scene. Either he was a complete moron, or he just had an awful memory. And as the officer listened to Henry, he tried to ease the tension between the two parents as Aisha finally decided that she'd had enough, and that she couldn't stand around and wait a minute longer doing nothing. Her daughter was out there somewhere, and she was going to do everything she could to find her. As the sun set upon the day, it was becoming evidently clear to everyone involved in the case that something was terribly wrong. Breasia was nowhere to be found, and time was shifting worry and wonder into full-blown panic and fear. As officers canvassed the neighborhood, they collected any nearby recordings of CCTV they could possibly find, while also interviewing neighbors in the area. Some of them reported seeing Breasia earlier in the day before, playing right alongside her brother outside, and from their point of view, nothing seemed strange or out of place. Just two kids ripping and running through the neighborhood, maximizing their summer now that school was in the rear view. Breasia had just sent a goodnight text to her mom the night before from Henry's phone, to which her mother returned the message in kind, with an "I love you" attached to the end of it. Everything was totally and completely normal. So investigators were left wondering, What in the world had happened just 6 hours later, in the middle of the night, that had seemingly caused Breasia to vanish into thin air? Meanwhile, Henry's big back ass leads the officer on scene back to his girlfriend's home. Henry's girlfriend, Andrea, soon became a focal point of the investigation. After all, she was there the entire night along with Henry and the two children, so they wanted to know what she could remember from the night before. Perhaps this was a situation of jealousy of some kind coming from the new girlfriend. Maybe she didn't like Breasia being around as a representation of Henry's ex. At this point, every angle was worth considering. But when interviewed, Andrea told the authorities that the kids were playing video games in their shared room the night before, while Henry and her settled in on the couch to watch some TV in the living room. One peculiar note of interest here was that the children were given oversized 4X shirts to wear to bed that evening, something that would have been totally normal had they not already packed away pajamas courtesy of their mom. Nonetheless, the night carried on as normal until around 12 midnight when Andrea went to bed and Henry stayed up on the couch in the living room. This was Andrea's account of everything from the night in question. Now, investigators want to speak with Henry, but when the officer returns outside to speak with him, he's gone. Just like the mom, Henry has left the scene without another word. No one knows where he is, and he's not returning investigators' phone calls either. To say that this was a little suspicious was an understatement. It was downright weird, and the timing of it put a bad taste in everyone's mouth. Who just up and leaves an active investigation like this? Both parents, gone. But just when the authorities prepare to issue a bolo for Henry, he calls the investigator back, informing him that he's walking into the police station to speak with the authorities right now.
Henry, what's up, big dog? You need to see your phone?
No, I was calling the officer back. Yeah, I'm down.
Okay.
Hello?
Okay, but thinking you so long answer my phone call and text messages.
Well, I didn't see your phone call. I just answered it just now, did I?
Okay, you're at the police station?
Yes, sir. I'm right here right now.
Alright, do you have any info for us?
What type of info? Like what? Like what?
Tell them that, hey,
Yeah, he's in the interview room right now. And
hey, we're in an interview with him. We got it.
Hang tight.
Your phone's gonna be sitting right here, okay?
Okay.
Returning the investigator's call as he's walking into the police station isn't just suspicious, it's downright retarded. When questioned about why he suddenly went AWOL and wasn't answering his damn phone, Henry says he hadn't received any of the calls from the police nor Aisha. Either Henry thinks the investigators are completely stupid, or he is. As he sits and speaks with the authorities, they ask him to recall the previous night's events. So in the middle of the night, Henry leaves the apartment, and when he returns, he looks and all of a sudden, Breasia is no longer asleep in the bed with Little Dink. He doesn't tell his girlfriend or ask Little Dink where Breasia is. He instead waddles to his car and proceeds to drive around the neighborhood looking for her. He doesn't find any trace of her, of course, so he returns to the apartment again. This time, though, his girlfriend Andrea is wide awake, and she wants to know what the fuck is going on. To which he still refuses to tell her that Breasia is now missing, which is yet another weird admission considering the circumstances. You would think in this moment, goofy-ass Henry would want all hands on deck to help find his missing daughter, but he instead grabs his younger son, DL, Little Dink, and tells him they need to go search for Breasia because she's missing. He doesn't call the police. He doesn't contact Breasia's mom. This idiot doesn't do anything that a normal concerned parent would do in the moment. Detective Aubert goes through Henry's story with him, and there's a pivotal moment where he asks him a particular question.
Yeah, so I'm asking just how long was that time frame of prior to picking up?
I don't know, sir.
Okay. But did you have your phone then when you were looking for her or no?
No.
Okay.
I wasn't even thinking about the phone.
About the phone.
I wasn't even,
yeah.
the phone wasn't even a concern, sir. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Finding her was the concern.
For sure.
Henry may look like a dumb sloth, but he's able to put two brain cells together in the moment to answer this question carefully. As they near the end of their little chat, Detective Aubert has one more question for Henry. He asks him if he can have the password to his phone so that they can do a forensic sweep of its data and contents. You know, just to make sure that they don't miss any key details or clues that Henry may have conveniently left out. But Henry doesn't seem to be too compliant with this request.
And so, was there any texts going around like about this situation, or is it just the phone calls?
I think there was like 1 or 2 texts,
1 or 2 texts.
if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. And so, would you be fine if we downloaded the phone to have the call logs and the texts
For what reason?
to corroborate everything here about the call logs and the texts? It helps everyone out.
Download my phone.
To get the call logs to show that those calls were made at those certain times.
I can show
and
you my
text
phone.
about it.
I can just show you my phone.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying? You want to see? I can just show you my phone. I mean, I can just open up my phone and let you go on my phone.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
What's the passcode to the phone?
Just give me my phone and I'll open it up for you.
Okay. Will you open up right in front of
Right,
you?
yeah, I'll open it right here. Cool.
Thank you so much.
Why are you looking at me to do my password?
Well, that's what I asked.
No, I said I will open it for you.
Yeah,
but
I'm
not going to give you my password.
Okay.
I will open it for you so you can look at my phone, but I'm not going to give you my password.
Okay. And then you're just gonna lock it.
Yes, right after you finish looking.
Yeah.
I will let you look in there. I have no problem with you looking.
Okay.
That's something I don't have no problem.
Okay.
Damn, what the fuck is it? My mind ain't not even on my phone.
You recently got this phone too, though, right? Yeah.
No, I had this phone for a minute, but
I think. Well, just a new phone number.
yeah, no, this number.
Because you said you didn't know it. That's what I was.
I don't know my number. All I know is 72
Okay.
726.
Alright.
Shit. Why you still watching? I don't want to open it, then, bro.
You don't. Okay.
Not if you staring into me while I'm trying to get my number.
What
It makes me nervous.
I'm doing is I'm making sure that you're not going in and deleting anything. That's what my concern is.
Why would I delete something?
You never know with guys. Trust me.
No.
It happens. It
I
happens.
mean, as soon as I open it, I'll give it to
Okay.
you.
Sounds good.
So you can look at it.
Yep. Yeah.
No. Let me try one more time. You only get so many tries.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Cool.
Now, what do you want to look at?
Just gonna.
I can show you anything and everything.
Was there?
Furthermore, they want to know the whereabouts of the car he was driving around the night he was looking for Breasia, which also doesn't go over too well with Henry. But as they sit in the interrogation room, officers just outside of the station inform Detective Aubert that they've located the car Henry was driving, and for some odd reason, he's parked it blocks away from the precinct, despite there being plenty of parking available right out front. I'm sure by now, you figured out that Henry likely failed the part of the test in school that required critical thinking skills, because instead of ordering an Uber and saying his car was having problems to avoid having to drive it to the station at all, Henry thought it would be better to drive there and park 2 blocks away from the main parking lot. You see, a true mastermind was at work. And now police wanted to know what was in Henry's car that he was trying to hide so unsuccessfully. While police pull Henry's car in to be searched, they shift their focus on someone else who may be able to provide some answers who was there the night Breasia vanished. Henry's son, DL. And fortunately for investigators, DL has the memory of an elephant. He remembered everything the night Breasia went missing, and DL lays out the events of the night before in its entirety. Early in the morning, DL says that he's awakened by his father and taken out to help search for Breasia after Henry tells him that she's missing. He also tells them that he felt a little jealous that his father was sitting in the room with Breasia throughout the night and not with him out in the living room. Sometime later, DL is awakened by his father and told that Breasia is lost and that they need to go look for her. DL also tells the investigator that his father curiously went fishing the very next morning. But when asked if he saw his dad with fishing poles out on the lake, he says no. But that his father Henry told him that he'd gone fishing, and although they were near the lake, they never pulled out any fishing rods. But throughout his entire story, DL has one more thing to share with detectives. At some point, he's asked if he ever saw his father Henry pulling anything out of the car, to which DL shares somewhat excitedly that he saw his father pull out a knife and proceed to wash it off with a bottle of bleach and a cloth. Detectives now know that they're onto something vicious, and Henry's overgrown fat ass is at the center of it all. Because Henry lived his life as a vagabond, the only address on file for him is a dirty little trailer home near the woods. Detectives know that they have to move quickly because they need to search that trailer home, and once they do, they find the aforementioned items named by DL, including that bottle of spray bleach and a machete-style knife. Henry's so stupid that he hadn't gotten rid of any of it. But maybe, just maybe, he didn't have a reason to hide them. Maybe he was innocent and this was all just one horrible coincidence.
No, I don't. No, I just like, you know what I'm saying? I looked at it like, I don't have no problem opening my phone for you. You know what I'm saying? I really don't.
Okay.
I don't have nothing to hide in my phone from you.
Okay.
Nothing. You know what I'm saying? But I don't understand how I got suspicious with my own kids, man. These are my kids.
No,
you know what I'm saying? I mean,
I'm just saying it would clear any suspicion, right?
Listen, I mean, I know you're doing your job. You know what I'm saying? And I know what you have to do. I know what you have to do. You know what I'm saying? And I don't have no issues with that, period. But these are my kids, bro.
Mm-hmm.
These are my kids. You know what I'm saying? These are mine.
Yeah.
I'm really like confused, like.
But then DL drops one more critical piece of testimony. Remember Jared Brink from the very beginning of this story? The guy who thought he might die while helping a weird and peculiar stranger in the middle of the night? DL shares with detectives that the person who was out on that dark, desolate road stuck that night was his father. After tracking Jared down and taking his witness statement of his Jeepers Creepers moment from that night, detectives get an idea. They ask DL to come with them as they drive to the very road his father was stuck on. As detectives navigate through the area, they're stunned at just how much DL is able to remember while driving. The trip is jogging his memory perfectly. He's able to tell them specific landmark buildings and business sites that he recalls passing. During his second interview, detectives learned that DL wasn't asleep the entire night. Like most nosy little 6 and 7-year-olds, DL happened to be wide awake when he saw something strange in the middle of the night during a time he was supposed to be asleep. He tells investigators that he saw both his father and Breasia leaving in the middle of the night because he was up peeking. When asked why he would be spying on his father and Breasia, everyone listening in on the interview gets an instant chill down their spine from his answer.
Let's talk about after dinner. What happened after dinner?
You had to go to bed.
So you locked the front door before you went to bed?
Yep.
So then what happened?
I woke up. He kicked me. Oh, and then I know that him and Brie was walking down the stairs.
Was it light outside or dark outside?
Light.
And how do you know it was him and Brie?
Because I heard Brie's voice.
Where were you when you heard her voice?
In the bedroom.
In the
peeking.
bedroom. Why were you peeking? Was there something going on that you were...
Because I was making sure he wasn't doing anything with my sister.
DL was also asked if his father had told him to keep a secret about anything from the police.
Did your dad tell you not to say anything about something?
Uh-huh.
Can you tell me what your dad didn't want you to say?
Nothing.
Why are you getting mad at me?
I'm not.
Well, you are. Did your daddy say anything about the trailer?
He told me don't tell y'all where the trailer's at.
Why did he not want us to know about it?
Because he was afraid. He said, if you tell anybody that I got a trailer, I'm gonna tear you up.
Threatening your innocent kid with physical harm, all because you're a person of interest in the murder case of your own daughter, was just a sample of how weird and sadistic Henry's big ass really was. With this personal witness account from DL, police now have concrete evidence they need to move forward with their investigation. They start pulling surveillance videos from the areas they believe Henry had driven that night. He appears in several places, including a gas station, where for some reason, he appears to keep looking back at his car while he's standing at the register, as if he's concerned with what's going on in or around it. Several times throughout the night, he appears on video in odd places during times he told the police that he was out searching for Breasia. Tracking his cell phone GPS data, detectives are also able to track him to a Walmart where he purchases bleach. Though investigators are able to track his movements around various areas, the data isn't pinpoint accurate enough to zero in on a definitive search area. Digging into nasty-ass Henry's background also reveals that he's a registered sex offender. This heightens detectives' senses that much more. But with all of this evidence, police are unable to locate the one thing that they need to determine exactly what happened to Breasia or where she is. But they now most certainly believe that they're not searching for a bright and lively, youthful little girl anymore. They're searching for a body. But finding her wouldn't be easy. In fact, 8 months came and went before the case gained any traction. But during the late winter, 2 fishermen discovered what they believed to be a human skull under a thick amount of brush with human remains attached to it. An autopsy on those remains makes it official. Breasia has been found. The details of her death are horrific. She was shot in the face and the lower part of her jaw. The bullet then traveled down her vertebrae into her spine, and she's also shot in her right shoulder. Behind the scenes, detectives are tirelessly working to gather every ounce of evidence and piece it all together. The gathered footage from Henry's travels on surveillance, his son DL's testimony of all the places they'd visited the day Breasia went missing, the filthy trailer that Henry tried to keep a secret from investigators. And remember Jared Brink from the beginning of the video? They're able to track him down, and he provides a huge piece of evidence with his testimony. He was able to place Henry Dinkins near the same area Breasia Terrell's body was found. But due to the advanced state of decomposition, the examiner's office has no way of knowing whether or not Breasia was sexually assaulted, but this becomes an all too obvious focus as the motive for detectives. The disgusting slob Henry Dinkins decided that having a girlfriend wasn't enough. He wanted a little girl. He wanted Breasia. And so authorities believe that on the night Breasia went missing, that it was Henry who woke her up in the middle of the night and had her follow him to his vehicle, where they believe he then drove her to his trailer and assaulted her. Then, unable to stomach the thought of having to face judgment for his actions, he decided that the only option left for him was to silence her forever, like the coward he is. I'm sure that when Breasia followed this obese loser out of the house that morning, that she had no idea she was on a literal death march. After all, she trusted him completely. He was like a father figure to her, and he used that relationship and connection to carry out his grotesque plan. There's a very different kind of demonic aura that resides over a man that not only took the life of someone he called his daughter, but to feign his ignorance of it all and actually pretend to help look for her is on a completely different level of evil. There are a few things I'd like to see happen to Henry Dinkins, none of which are considered legal. This deviant demon was charged with first-degree murder and kidnapping. He was able to avoid any charges of a sexual nature due to the state of Breasia's body upon discovery. He was found guilty and sentenced to 2 consecutive life sentences, which means that he'll eventually die behind bars. Breasia Terrell was only allowed to experience 10 years on this earth before her life was snatched. Every year she spent here, worth infinitely more than the 51 years Henry Dinkins wasted being a devilish piece of donkey shit. May Breasia Terrell's soul rest in eternal peace, and may Henry Dinkins spend the rest of his days being someone's bottom bitch.